Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Learn. And today's topic is the cosine rule, within which we're going to be doing some practice today. If you haven't watched my cosine rule explanation video yet, pause right here, check the link in the description below, go understand the concept first, and then come back for solving. So today's question is, this is a triangle ABC. As you can see, AC is 10 centimeter, AB is 8 centimeter. And the question says, the area of the triangle shown is 25 square centimeter. Calculate the perimeter of the triangle. Now, to begin with, it's talking about the perimeter of the triangle. So first of all, we need to figure out how do we find perimeter of a triangle. In order to find perimeter of a triangle, we gotta add up all the sides. That's the formula for perimeter of a triangle, that we say sum of all sides. And sum means you just add all sides. For example, if this is x, this is y, this is z, the perimeter of this triangle would be x plus y plus z, which means that I got to add up all the lengths. Now in this one, I have one of the lengths that's 10 centimeter, the other one that's 8 centimeter, and this length right here is missing. So I got to find this length. But before finding this length, there is something I need to know. It says the area of the triangle shown is 25 centimeters square. Now because it's talking about area, there obviously has to be something that I gotta find before finding this length. Or perhaps something that I will find is going to help me finding this BC length. So I gotta first figure out what's the area of a non-right angled triangle. If it would have been a right angled triangle, the area would just simply be half times base times height. But because this is a non-right angled triangle and we have two lengths involved, then we're going to be taking this formula that says area of a non-right angled triangle, provided that an angle enclosed between two lengths is known, is half AB sine C. Now AB are supposed to be the lengths that are known to me, and the C, that's the capital C, is always going to be the angle enclosed between these two lengths. So without putting much concerns, for now we can just figure out on finding out this angle first. So once I have this angle, maybe some picture is going to be clear to me that how do I go ahead and find out my BC. So first thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be finding my angle C, or this one, which is technically angle A according to this triangle. So my area is already given to me as 25, and 25 is equal to half times AB. So A is, let's say I'm taking 8 as my A, and I'm taking 10 as my B, times sine C. Now, first of all, I'm going to be solving stuff that's here. So 8 times 10 gives me 80. 80 divided by 2 gives me 40. Or I can just simply cut it off here. 2 ones 2, 2 fours 8. 4 times 10 is 40. And I have 40 sine C on this side. And on the other side, I have 25. Now, in order to find my sine C, I got to take my 40 to the other side. So when 40 goes to the other side, it turns into something like this. Because this 40 is in multiplication with the sine C, it goes to the other side, turns into division. So I'm going to do 25 over 40 equals sine C. Now, 5 times 5 gives me 25, and 5 times 8 gives me 40. So I have something like this: sine C equals 5 over 8. Now, I have to find my angle C. So for that, I got to isolate my C, or I need to make the C my subject. So the sine has to go to the other side. And when sine goes to the other side, it always turns into something like this: sine minus 1. The sine minus 1 is known as sine inverse. So C is going to be equal to sine inverse of 5 upon 8. Now, coming back to my scientific calculator, you got to make sure that your calculator is set on degrees. That's the first thing that you have to be careful about. Secondly, I'm just going to click I and V, that is the inverse. And then once I click I and V, I will be seeing something like this: sine, and there will be a minus 1 on top. So I'm just going to select I and V, and I'm going to select sine minus 1. So sine inverse of 5 upon 8 gives me 38.682, which means that this angle right here is 38.68. Or you could also round it up to 38.7, which I'm just going to do that. It's 38.7 degrees. So this is my angle, 38.7. So this is the very first thing I'm going to do in order to be able to find my BC. First thing, I got to take out my angle, 38.7. And now, what happens when I have my angle? So again, this is the triangle I have. I have this one as 38.7, as I just found out using this area and using the formula half AB sine C. Now I need to find this length BC. And why am I looking for BC? Because I got to find the perimeter. And for the perimeter, I need all three lengths in order to add them up. So I have this angle 38.7 and this length is missing. Let me just call it as X. And now if you notice, I'm dealing with three lengths and one angle. And when you deal with three lengths and one angle, you use the cosine rule. And in order to find the length, I'm going to be using the cosine formula arrangement to find length. And that says c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cos c. So my c square is just unknown, and my capital C always has to be the angle that I'm dealing with, and the small c is always the length that is right opposite to the angle. So I'm going to be writing, instead of my c square, I can just write x squared equals, or you can also write bc. So bc squared equals the a square. Let me just take 8 squared plus 10 squared, doesn't matter. You can flip the order. You can write 10 squared first and then 8 squared. It's just completely your choice. So 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 8 times 10 times cos 38.7. Now, once you have all of that, you need to put it up on your scientific calculator again. So first thing, make sure your calculator is set on degrees because you're dealing with sine, cos, tan, and unless and until they ask you to find your answers in radians, you gotta keep it degrees. So 8 squared, in order to put that square, just in case you wonder how does that small 2 come on the top, so here's the thing, x to the power of y. So as soon as you write 8, you just click on this x to the power of y, you'll have this little box up there, and then you can just put in the number that you want, and that's going to be 2, and then you can just move on. The cursor automatically moves away from that. So this is how you write 8 squared plus 10 squared minus, just put a bracket here, and then 2 times 8 times 10 times cos 38.7. Make sure again your calculator is set on degrees. And when you equals to that, it's 39.1. So this BC squared equals 39.131. Now the thing is, I have to figure out my BC. I don't want my BC squared. So when a square goes to the other side, it turns into a square root. So BC is going to be square root of 39.131. So when I check that out, so 39.13 square root gives me 6.25 and so on, which means my length BC is equal to 6.255. I can just round it up to 6.3 centimeters, which means this length right here is 6.3. Now again, coming back to the original question that says find the perimeter of the triangle, which means 8 plus 10 plus 6.3. So for the perimeter, I'm just going to do sum of my all three sides, and that is 8 plus 10 plus 6.3. And once you do that again on your calculator, 8 plus 10 plus 6.3 gives you 24.3. So the perimeter of my triangle is 24.3 centimeter. The perimeter for a triangle, you always keep it as centimeter. The area is always in centimeter or meter square. It has to have a square, but perimeter just has a normal centimeter. So my final answer is 24.3 centimeters. That's how you find out whatever information is given to you. It's not just given like that. You need to use it and find out some missing value through which you will find out the other value. For example, in this one, the area was given, and from this area, we first figured out our angle A. Once we had that, we could easily use the cosine rule and find the length of BC. And then you just add things up, and that gives you the perimeter. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, any confusions, just drop them down in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching Easy Learn. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Take care of yourselves until next time.